The maximum amount that you can get for the assistance, which is 5%, but the max went up to $35,000. It used to be $25,000. Before, you had to be a nurse, a teacher, a firefighter, something considered a hometown hero. As of July 3rd, they've gotten rid of the occupation eligibility.
So what is the employment requirement? What about those who are self-employed like myself?
Requirements are very similar to any other loan that you're going to apply for.
Unicorn, and I have a 780, 800 credit score. Do I get a better rate? Is the assistance forgivable?
So you can get seller credits, you can get a realtor contribution. They're all classified as third-party contributions.
This video is brought to you by Mateo, Reza Realtor, your real estate professional in Central Florida. Welcome home. Hello there, lovely people. My name is Mateo Reza with EXP Realty. Today, we're going to explore the Hometown Heroes program, and we're going to answer a few of the most common questions that people have about this program. And with me today is going to be Dawson Walker, sales manager from Dawson Mortgage. How are you doing, Dawson?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Mateo.
Thank you. I really appreciate you being here because people really want to know what's going on with this program. Dawson, this program started, we have this program for a couple of years now? Or when did it start?
Summer of 2022.
Okay, perfect. But I know that this month they made some changes to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us, first of all, the three major differences about the previous Hometown Heroes program and this one?
Absolutely. So as of July 3rd, some of the new changes are the maximum amount that you can get for the assistance, which is 5%, but the max went up to $35,000. It used to be $25,000. So you can get a larger loan and still get the full 5%.
Okay, perfect. So basically the contribution, the assistance, it went up $10,000.
Yes.
All right, perfect. What else?
Also so there's income limits depending on the county. So for most of the income limits went up $10,000. For example, for Orange County, where we're at right now, the income limit is now $131,700, where it was somewhere around $122,000. So the max that they can make is now higher as well.
All right, perfect. I see. So they increase the limit, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So for example, if somebody wanted to do the Hometown Heroes, but they made $150,000, they wouldn't be eligible because they make too much.
Okay, I see. Okay. And the third difference?
So this one's the biggest one, I think.
Yes.
So before, you had to be a nurse, a teacher, a firefighter, something considered a hometown hero. As of July 3rd, they've gotten rid of the occupation eligibility.
All right, perfect. So, but all these people, I mean, all the nurses and firefighters and police officers still qualify, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now they just open it to more people.
Right.
Basically everyone.
Everyone that's a first-time home buyer in Florida.
Okay. We're going to talk about that in the next couple of questions. So stay around if you want to hear more about Hometown Heroes program. Special thanks to our host, Celebration Title Group, where every closing is a celebration. And you were talking about a little bit of the requirements. What is the employment requirement?
So now you have to be employed full-time, which would be 35 hours, and it has to be a Florida-based company. So what's that mean? Right? So a Florida-based company means that you have to work at a company that has a brick and mortar or a physical location in Florida. So even if the corporate location is somewhere else, as long as there is a building in Florida, then you qualify.
That's amazing. Okay, for example, and do you have to be employed full-time or it is part-time?
Full-time, and they consider 35 hours full-time.
All right, perfect. Okay, so that is amazing. But what about those who are self-employed like myself?
Right. So if you're self-employed, you can still qualify.
Okay.
There might be a little more into it. You might have to get a letter from your CPA stating that you do work full-time. And as long as your company is based in Florida, then you're good.
All right, perfect. Is there a credit score minimum for this program?
Yes, there's a minimum credit score of 640.
All right, 640. Perfect. I like that. Okay, so when we're talking about this program, and we talk a little bit already about some of the qualifications that, for example, the employment qualification, and also for self-employed, that there are a little bit of differences there. But tell me a little bit more about the requirements of the loan itself. Do you still require like 2 years of tax returns, W-2s? Do you need, you were talking a little bit about a letter from the CPA for self-employed. Tell me more about the requirements.
Yeah, so good question. The requirements are very similar to any other loan that you're going to apply for. So if you're a W-2 employee, we're going to need 2 years W-2s. We're going to need 30 days worth of pay stubs, 2 months bank statements, copy of your ID. If you're self-employed, then we'll need your last 2 years tax returns, business and personal, all pages.
Okay, perfect. You mentioned all these requirements. Is this a loan, an FHA loan, or what kind of loan is it?
It can be an FHA loan, it can be a VA loan, it can be conventional, it can be USDA even. It's really just a normal loan, underwritten in-house. We do all the underwriting, and it can be any of those loans.
All right, perfect. So really this is like an assistance that you put on top of any loan.
Right.
Basically.
So what it is you have your regular FHA or VA or conventional loan. The 5% comes in the form of a silent second loan. So it's actually a second loan that you have a 0% payment, a 0% interest rate. So that 5% comes from a second loan.
All right, perfect. Dawson, explain to me a little bit more about the credit score requirement. You say the minimum is
640.
640. Okay, so let's say that I'm super amazing and I'm a unicorn and I have a 780, 800 credit score. Do I get a better rate?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Yep. So it's 640. There is one rate per different kind of loan. The rates are set by the Florida Housing Finance Corporation. They're on the e-housing site. You can check them out daily. They do fluctuate daily. But whether you're 640 or 800, you're going to have the same rate depending on if you're FHA, VA, conventional.
Okay, so this basically, let me see if I understand this correctly. So basically, they're trying to give the same rate to all the people. Like basically, as long as you qualify with the minimum.
Right.
All right. When you say qualification of the credit score, how do you find out the credit score? Do you pull the credit score?
Yeah, so we'll do a credit pull. Generally, we'll do a soft pull in the beginning until you're really ready to go under contract, and then we'll do a hard inquiry.
Okay, perfect. And stay with us because at the end, we're going to give you recommendations if you want to apply for this program. And credit is really important. We're going to talk about that later. So with this program, and I know they are giving assistance to whoever is trying to get this program, does it affect the purchasing power of the consumer?
So it can. So with a conventional loan, it's really not going to affect it because your debt to income ratio is the same. It's going to be 50%, 50%.
Okay.
Now, typically with an FHA loan, your debt to income ratio can go higher, 56.9.
Okay.
On a Hometown Heroes loan, it's still 50. So theoretically, it can change your purchasing power.
So let's say that I am a FHA, that I qualify for FHA because I want to buy a little bit more house, right?
Right.
And I want the 56.9%, so I want to use that. But if I also want the Hometown Heroes program, it's going to bring me to 50.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Always when you have these kind of questions when it comes to your purchasing power, make sure that you contact your loan professional. Dawson is right here and his information is going to appear on the screen, so you can contact him, ask him all the questions that you need to do. One of the most common questions that we receive about this program is the assistance forgivable?
It's a great question. Unfortunately, it's not. So if you were to sell or refinance your home at any point, you do have to pay the 5% back.
Okay, perfect. So if I want to sell the property, I have to pay, who do I pay back?
It basically is a lien on your home.
Okay.
So it would get paid back to the Florida Housing Finance Corporation.
Oh.
Goes back into their pool of money so they can award more assistance to other families.
All right, perfect. If the home is no longer my first time home, do I have to pay it Okay.
My understanding is if let's say you buy your first home, it's an FHA, it's your primary. After 5 years, you decide to rent that out and go purchase another one. If they were to find out, you do have to pay it back. That's my understanding.
All right, perfect. I see.
It needs to be your primary forever, basically.
In the mind of the people that are watching this video, have it that you will have to pay back that 5% of contribution if you sell your property and if it's no longer your primary residence.
Yes.
Right? Okay, perfect. Is the assistance interest free?
It is interest free. So it's 0% interest, 0% payment. As long as you live in that house, you will never pay a single dollar for it.
Okay.
So, for example, even if you were to keep your house for 30 years and make 30 years worth of on-time payments, you do not have to pay it back until you sell or refinance.
Does this program makes the interest rate of the full loan better or worse?
So typically the rates for Hometown Heroes are lower than the national average. And
Okay.
you don't have to pay points on them. So if you know what a point is, it's 1% of your loan amount. For most loans right now, you do have to pay points. For Hometown Heroes, you do not pay points, and the rates are lower than if you were just to do a typical conventional or FHA VA loan.
All right, perfect. So let me ask you this question. If you are like a veteran of you work for the armed forces, do you get any extra perk on this program, or how does it work?
Yeah, actually, so the first-time homebuyer requirement is actually waived if you're a veteran or if you're a active military personnel. So if you're a veteran or if you're in the military currently, you do not have to be a first-time homebuyer.
All right, perfect. Does anybody need to cross?
Yeah, she's got a cross.
Okay, cross. Don't worry.
We're putting you in the video, though.
And we want to thank Celebration Time for
Hey!
interrupting this
Thank you.
video.
Nice to meet you. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry.
Have a great day.
You too, bye. So, Dawson, let's say, for example, for this month, I have a break free from your landlord certificate. Can I give that contribution on top of the contribution that is Hometown Heroes?
Yes, so you can get seller credits, you can get a realtor contribution. They're all classified as third-party contributions and would follow the normal guidelines. So for FHA, you can get up to 6% third-party contributions. If it's a conventional loan, you can get 3% depending on your down payment. If you put 10% or more down, you can get 6%. If you put 25% or more down, you can get 9% actually. VA, there's not an exact number. It depends on what it's going towards, but VA is usually around 4 or 5%.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. So always it's good to ask your loan officer if you can get more contributions or not.
Yep.
So you have the right information, because really this is like individual per individual basis programs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of variables. I would just reach out to your loan officer and let them help you.
Okay, we talk about credit, we talk about income limits, we talk about contributions. What are your recommendations for somebody that is looking to get into this program?
Yeah, so just like with any other loan, you want to try to keep your credit score as high as possible. You do not want to run up your credit cards. You do not want to open any new credit cards. You don't want to go to Rooms to Go and order all your new furniture before closing. You really want to wait for after closing for that. You really don't want any changes to your credit profile. And you want to save up as much money as you can.
Absolutely. Save as much money as you can. No new lines of credits.
Right.
I'm assuming getting a new car before closing is a no-no.
It's no.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay.
That's a big one usually.
Yes. So
Don't finance an RV for your summer trip after your closing.
Yes, because people are like, oh, I'm getting a new house. Let me get a new car, new furniture. No.
Yeah, but a week from closing, let me spend all my money.
Yes. Okay. So that's a no. Dawson, thank you very much for taking your time to explain this program to our audience, and we want to give you thanks, and also Western Mortgage for being in this video. Do you have any last words?
I just want to thank you for having me. It was an honor and a pleasure. If you guys ever need anything, feel free to ask.
All right, perfect. Of course, the information about Dawson Walker is gonna be on the screen, and the information, of course, for the certificate, the $500 certificate for the month of July, break free from your landlord, is gonna also appear in this on the screen. You just have to text the number that is appearing right now. And if you have more questions, of course, contact Dawson. And if you have questions about real estate, contact me, Mateo Reza, your realtor. Thank you very much. Bye.